All right, part 2 of the stock lab. So now all you have left to do is just to finish up your graph. Notice I put a good title that really lets you see what this graph is about. Okay, actually that's not a good title. I would say Chipotle prices in over the last 10 years. Okay. I want to have a picture back there that kind of reflects what it's about. So I'm going to double click on that. Right here's the paint thing, and if I click fill, I can do a picture or a pattern. I'm going to insert a file, and I can just go ahead and find a picture and put that. So that looks like a good one. Put that in there. It's a little bright and hard to see in the background, so remember that idea of taking that transparency, and I'm going to kind of make it much lighter so it doesn't stand out too much. You can really more focus on the graph. All right, so now I have this graph done. I'm just going to go ahead and move it to a new sheet. Okay, and I'll call that stock graph. All right, and now it looks nice over here. All right, going back to what we're doing. So now I want to finish this right here, looking at these things, answering these questions. So to do that, we're just going to remember to find the correlation coefficient. You just do coral. And when I do coral, I just highlight my X, comma, and then I go ahead and do my Y. Shift down. And I can get my correlation coefficient, which is quite high. For slope, it's going to be equals slope. And you follow these directions here, okay, doing your y's and then your x's. And I get my slope. For intercept, it's going to be equal intercept right here. Again, it says to put your y's in first and then your x's, so you go ahead and highlight your y's, comma, bring it back up to the top, and highlight all of the x's, and I'm getting all of these. So now I can kind of see what my equation is right here. So now, at least I can see the values of the equation. We saw actually the equation on the graph. But this is, I'm going to need to do this to find the expected value in 2020. So here, this is a little harder because I can't plug in 2020. Remember, we used days since 1900. We actually didn't use the years to find these values. So this equation is all about how things are changing every single day. So what I need to do is actually turn this into days. So I'm going to do a date conversion. So I'll just type in the date that I want right here, which is 1/1/2020. Okay, and then I'm going to go right back into it, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm just going to turn that into a number. And now I have how many days since 2020, and I can do the same thing for date 2, and it would just be 1/1/2025, and just go back in and I convert that to a number. So now to actually find the expected value, what I need to do is plug into that regression equation, right? Now I know the regression equation, it's right here. So I'm going to actually have to kind of program into Excel this exact equation of the slope times the number of days subtracting the intercept. So let's go back and do just that. So this is going to be equals, okay, so I have my slope. I times that by the number of days, and I add that to my intercept. You hit enter, and there it is. Now that's a little hard to read, and we actually want it to be money because it's about money. Now I can kind of see how much it would be worth. And I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I can actually autofill. Well, actually, maybe I can't. Could I autofill this down? Would that work? So if I autofill, I'm guessing I'm going to get a very strange answer. And that's because here, I want the slope and the intercept to stay the same. So if I'm going to autofill, I first need to go back up here over to the equation bar, and I need to just hit that function F4 and make sure that the slope never changes, okay? So I'm going to absolute reference that. I'm going to also absolute reference my intercept. Oopsies, cancel, did not mean to do that. So I'm going to absolute reference my intercept as well. So now I should be able to autofill that and have it work just fine. And there it is. I hope that's clear, and I hope you enjoyed the lab.